How to build self-esteem. Is it even possible? If you find yourself having negative thoughts like, I don't deserve it, I'm not good enough, is there anything you can do about that? In today's video on Psychology for Marketers, we'll use the knowledge that we have about our brain and psychology to answer these questions. Hi, my name is Magda Kay and I'm the founder of Psychology for Marketers. In today's video, I want to share with you a few tips on how we can use the way our brains work to build high self-esteem. It's something that's relevant to everybody. There are areas in our life when every person believes that we're not good enough, that we don't deserve what we want. This is what usually stops us from going for the things that we love, stops us from making our dreams come true. So if you work on this, if you really work on making your self-esteem higher and you start seeing yourself in a different light, that's the most important change and push that you need towards the life that you really desire. So let's look at how we can use our brain, how our knowledge of how the brain works can help you build the higher self-esteem. So here's the first thing about our brain. The more you repeat something, the more your brain believes that it's true. That's why repetition is so powerful. Keep repeating a message to another person and most likely they will start believing it. Now you can do also the same on yourself. Repeat a certain message to yourself and after a while of doing so, you will believe that to be true. This is why so many people suggest using affirmations. So this is how you want to approach it. You create a positive affirmation about yourself. In this case, since we want to work on self-esteem, it could be, I am a worthy person. I deserve things that I want in life. I deserve love. I deserve money. And put here whatever you want. It's your personal mantra. It's your personal affirmation. Just make sure that it's positive and it's in the present tense. Don't make it too long since I want you to repeat it. And the more complex, the longer it gets, the more difficult it's going to be for your mind to start believing it. So just make it simple, one sentence. Now, I want you every day, repeat it to yourself. Best if you can do it in the morning and in the evening, in the mirror, looking into your eyes. After a while, you will notice that when you say the sentence, it feels different. Most likely the first day you try it, you will feel awkward because it's not what you believe. That's not what your brain believes to be true. But if you keep repeating it after already a week, you'll see a difference. It will just feel inside of you like, yeah, I am. The second thing about how people think and perceive the world, it's the concept of identity. And that's crucial. We create identity of ourselves, of any other person, of the world, of the situation. But the identity of yourself is the most important one. So over years, over your life, you create the idea of who you are. And now your mind will use a lot of energy to maintain that identity. This is why it's not as easy to change it, but it's possible. So here's the thing. How do we create an idea of who we are? By observing. Think of it this way. If you see a person who is walking, alongside you on the street and they stop to, let's say, pat a cat or a dog on the street, you're thinking, oh, they must be really nice people. You don't know them, so how can you make this kind of judgment? Based on the behavior you're observing. So you create the idea of who somebody is based on how they behave. And you do the same for yourself. You observe your behavior. So if I step on the street to pet a cat, I'm telling myself I am a person who loves animals. Or I'm a good person, I'm a caring person. But let's say if I don't do it, I might create an identity that's opposite, like I don't like animals. So here is another thing, how you can use this part of our brain, of how the brain works, to build a higher self-esteem. Act as if. So I want you to pretend you're in a movie. And for some time, just act like a person of high self-esteem. Keep acting, keep, taking on challenges, accepting gifts, accepting compliments, going out there, putting yourself out there as anybody of really high self-esteem would. You might feel like you're not really true to yourself. It's okay. For now, it's just about your behavior, because it's another way to trick your mind into thinking that you are already having much better idea of yourself, and you can change your identity this way. Okay, and here's the third thing about our brains that we can use to build high self-esteem. And this is something that Robert Cialdini mentioned in his book Influence, but it's generally a very well-known rule in social psychology. And it's called commitment and consistency. What it means is that once we commit to something, we will put extra effort in doing and finishing it. So maybe that has happened to you, that you started reading a book or watching a movie, and halfway through you feel like, I don't really like it, I don't like the story, it's boring, you kind of think, oh, it's a waste of time. But you might still be very tempted to finish it. Why? Because you started. In our mind, if we start something and if we don't follow through, that means that, you know what? At that time when I started it, I was wrong. And we don't want to think of ourselves as people who are wrong, who don't know. We want to be the smart ones. So continue with the behavior that you started in the past. It's a way for our mind to keep the identity of ourselves as smart people. That's of course dangerous because it doesn't allow us to evolve. But knowing that rule, it's again something that you can use for your own benefit. So to build high self-esteem, I want you to make a commitment and make it very clear. Say it into the mirror, because then you're engaging your visual as well. So say it to yourself. Today, I'm making a commitment that I will be working on growing my self-esteem, or that I'm making a commitment that from now on I have high self-esteem. Next thing I want you to do is to make it even bigger, and to really trigger that consistency principle is to write your commitment down and put it around the house where you can see it. So you can either take a piece of paper, scotch, and just attach it everywhere, or use Post-its, but put it on the mirror in your bathroom. If you can, put it on your monitor, on your computer, put it on your fridge, so that you can see it all the time. It's like a reminder that, hey, you made that commitment. It also helps if you can make this commitment public. Now, I'm not the person who recommends putting it on Facebook or telling everybody. I think it's better if you just share it with the people who are in a similar position as you are, because that will be your best support group. So you can use Facebook. You can search for different groups, and for sure you will find some groups with similar interests. So you'll find people who are where you are and who are also trying to figure out the way to build self-esteem. So if you tell them about it, what happens is that you have this public commitment, but you don't feel judged by them because you know they're going through the same. So anyways, make this commitment. Make sure that you see that you're being reminded that you made this commitment, because that will trigger you to be consistent and follow through with it. Okay, finally, and I think this is my favorite point because it really reflects the complexity of our minds. So here's the thing that you probably already know. Our conscious mind, it's about 10%. Now, our subconscious represents 90%. All of the beliefs that we have, like a belief that I am not worthy, that I don't deserve. So your self-esteem comes from your subconscious. So we're really looking at how can we engage this 90% and change it. So all of the points, all the 3 points we're talking about, they work on your subconscious mind. They use the principle of the subconscious mind. So we are already covering 90%. But there's still that 10%, your conscious mind, that right now is working according to the principle low self-esteem. So we also need to engage this part of the brain to make sure that the whole brain that we have It's actually working for us to help us change this perspective of ourselves. Your conscious mind, it's your logical mind. That's the part of your brain, physically, that's responsible for logical thinking, for any thought processing. So, here's how you can approach it. I want you to take a piece of paper and write down all the arguments why you are not worthy, why you're not important, why you don't deserve it. So all of the arguments that support your low self-esteem. You're probably not going to have a lot of difficulties coming up with those points. So just put it point by point, okay? Now that's going to be easy for your conscious mind because that's the principle it's been operating by for all those years. But this is not where the exercise ends. Now I want you to do the second thing. I want you to write down counter-arguments for every single point. Now you're asking your conscious mind to do something it hasn't done. So it will take a bit of time, a bit of an effort, but your conscious mind will come up with those ideas. Now why is it so important to do this part? It's because if you don't, and most likely what will happen, that you will be working on your self-esteem and every now and then these thoughts will come back, right? That's your conscious mind because your conscious mind is used to operating under the certain principle. So if you find yourself, giving one of those points why you're not important, you already have counter-argument ready. So you can have a conversation in your mind. If it says that, oh, but you're not pretty enough, boom, you already have the argument that you wrote down to counter it, to prove your mind that the way it was thinking before, it's not the only way to think. Okay, so these are 4 ways to use our brain, to use the complexity of our brains to build higher self-esteem. And I really hope you're going to embark on this journey. I've been working on it for many, many years and I've seen huge improvement. In fact, the fact that I'm sitting right now, I'm recording a video for you, it's the result of this. 10 years ago, I would have never had the courage to do it. I would be thinking, who am I? What do I know to share anything? But I've built my self-esteem. I've built the feeling that I am worthy and that I actually have something to share and that people can appreciate it. So I'm really excited about you trying these things. And if you do, feel free to email me at info@psychologyformarketers.com and just share your experiences. As well, use the comment section below to share anything that's on your mind. And if you have any more ideas how you can build your self-esteem that you're using, that you have experience with, and that you can recommend to other people, also please share this with us. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like it and share with your friends. I would really appreciate it. And remember, if you're not yet part of our community of Psychology for Marketers, sign up. Join us by simply putting your email address and name on the side of this video, and you'll be getting more emails from me with even more videos, more content, and very special offers for the products and courses that I personally use and that I love. I only promote things that I love, and if you get it from me, you're always getting a very special discount. So I'm really excited for you to be here. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you next week.